I thought I'd mention how funny it is again, like I did yesterday, that people are absolutely just burying the natural environment, destroying it, um, and generally graffiti, lots of graffiti on people's everyday lives, and they're supposed to feel like they're the ones who are doing things wrong, and that people are supposed to be told what to do by whom is doing that. Imagine that. No. The answer no. I don't think you understand that word. And for me, it doesn't really bother him anymore. It doesn't. It's one day you're going to realize, look, it's dealing with like how much of an asshole can somebody be, and so many of us do it, and I know it. I've known it for a long time, and people have, you know, been helping me out for a long time too. And so, one day you're gonna wake up and realize you're just an arrogant, condescending asshole. That's not my problem. Do you understand that? Can you? Or can you be flustered and freak out? Freak out. My favorite is doing all these charades. You can see in the mirror you're the one doing it. And it's how you look. Some flopping around mockery charade. Uh, if we put you all in one spot, it would look like a really strange dance contest or something, or group that you were doing. I just want you to know it looks really, really stupid. And the pride just goes away. I know it when you do it. I've seen a guy give me a kissy face walking down the street with a wink, all like sadistic, and I know it was. I can read the body language. Uh, Obviously was, and that person has to walk now for the rest of their life, thinking that's the last real thing they tried to very voluntarily indicate to me. Um, so yeah, eventually it'll become as easy as the system's falling apart anyway, because it's at least obsolete and always has been corrupt. And all around the world are very smart people, psychologists who really wonder what this pseudo psychology is about. And actually, they probably nail it right to the premise there. Um, so it's pretty obvious there's lots of alibis. People always saying, no, I wasn't there, I didn't do that from a podium, and all this, and a whole bunch of stuff that indicates that it's not me that's the problem or the trouble. And by the time they have to go try to scrub civilization itself or the entire world of any culture besides some like super angry, hyper masculine, whatever the other one is, thing, where the women become hyper masculine and toxic masculinity is their thing. Again, consider how I feel. Really, try to put yourself in my shoes. Whether you think I'm whatever stigma, whatever you put upon me, whatever image you want to cast, that you assume of me, just fine, do that, and then assume that I'm not an angry, arrogant person with super super fucking problems all the time, constantly discontented, sounding like a Hitler speech, like little teeny Hitlers everywhere. And that might sound like, oh, sure, that must make me a Nazi too, right? Because I do this and that. Well, I don't know if you are or not. I don't really care. It's not my concern. Uh, you really just it's so moot. Like there's no point. You have a non sequitur, oxymoron kind of thing going on. It starts in one place and it winds up another, in the name of some kind of deceit thing. And so, when a liar is there trying to deceive other people, yet they have something they're lying about, and that's quite obvious. Uh, it stands to reason, they're deceiving themselves. They perhaps have been deceived themselves. And I mean, it could be called injustice, I suppose, that I wake up every day happy, that I feel good about myself and who I am every day, that I admire my strength and my reasoning throughout it, my ability to solve problems, even large ones, a little bit at a time, uh, having various, kind of breakthroughs about it, or even epiphanies, about what it is, how it works. Um, it's kind of like if you've seen a really, really good description of something, you pretty much know everything that you can say is to be described about its appearance or something. I mean, on the inside, might have some, a few things going on that aren't known, but, I know what I'm doing. I know what my bearing is. I'm not losing control of this situation. In fact, I'm progressing towards goals that I find very important to myself, and which will make it very not easy for anything very substantial to happen with me anymore. Um, for example, it is as easy as zapping all of those things with Morgellons cure, their electromagnetic wands, and so on. And so, that to me is a goal that no matter what else is processing or going along with or smiling and winking, I don't care what, going along with or just going with the flow of or having a dance with or whatever. It doesn't mean I am that. It doesn't mean it's not still my goal to destroy the things, the technology that has been put in me. And so uh, there's this endless thing that I think what it is these people feel that they deserve the same kind of love that they see around them, uh, and they feel entitled to it. And that's really it. You are not entitled to another person. It's like a child, has like it could be a guest at a house or whatever. And it's like you see sometimes I've seen a cop do it. They have their chamber, their bubble there, and then they make a line directly at the person, walk right up to him like this. And of course, the person, step off to the side a little bit and talk with them. But it's just the idea that, like, it's a whole bunch of, I may do this. You sound like you have the hors d'oeuvres, and it's just little contrivances or whatever. um, entitled to invade space, entitled to take from, entitled to abuse, even entitled to be intimate with, entitled to tell other people how to live their lives, even if it has nothing to do with you. And some people would say it would be religion. I mean, there could be so many disagreements about what exactly it is that this cookie cutter person should be. And the thing is that it's mostly due to this cookie cutter idea. So define exactly what it is. Uh, you know, you're supposed to be this way and that, but not according to some people. According to some people, you're supposed to be that way and that way. And so it has to be something that sells. It has to be something just medium enough to keep everybody going. I've noticed that it seems to be things kept just on the level, just below where people would really, really, like general people get far too upset about their life. And I don't feel as much as I was trying to hit me as hard as fucking possible. It has been like over and over again. It's just whatever. If you could notice, I'm not in tears. I'm not in tears. I'm not saying mercy or I don't consent or some other thing. It's obvious that I never did, and it was harmful, which is why I then remove that from my life, which I am of course going to. Um, People may judge each other for what, being slightly off the narrative, like you have to be exactly this way and that. If there's any difference among even whatever this cookie cutter installment idea is supposed to be. Can't even probably fucking agree on it. I mean, people have opinions. They're not exactly the same. It just ain't gonna happen. People have different preferences. Uh, people who wrote the Declaration of Independence and Constitution and things like that saw women as possessions, uh, saw people of other skin color as slaves. Um, it's not debatable that I have an objective ethic which supersedes all of that, supersedes any of your bullshit at all. It's as simple as a virus scan running a protocol. To check, is the operating system the same as it, should be? Does anything break the protocol? Does 0 and 1 equal 0 and 1? Does good equal good? Well, bad equals bad. Yes, it does. So, like, in your conscience, where you're freaked out and not really sure and think it might be something bad, like, you look out on paper, if you subjugate and hurt people and kill them, might be perceived as, like, even this tiniest little twinge of, gee, was that bad or something? Maybe it's Conscience Day or whatever it is, or, woke up from a nightmare about it or something. I don't do that. I don't do things that, for one thing, are written into law not to do, like harass people, bully people, try to kill them. So you can see right there with just one little layer, one little translucent layer of what is what, that, yeah, it qualifies as bad. And so objective ethics, goes around all of that. It's very simple. It'd be hard to find someone who said, no, butterflies shouldn't exist. We don't like butterflies, and our kids shouldn't be able to learn about butterflies in school, or go out in the field and then find butterflies, lots of them, and grasshoppers and crickets. So we know that you are at the end game where you don't care if it takes the entire world with you. But do realize that there's not much sympathy for that. And really, okay, what was it, my hair? See? Oh, hair. I like hair. Hair's pretty cool. Not bad. Teeth are teeth. I could brush them more. Go to the dentist, it'll be fine. Eventually. I will get implants. And it's not that hard to figure out where this goes. Where do you think it's going? An obvious thing where people get along and you can't stand that because you want to indoctrinate everybody, your kids, with your version of who is good enough and who isn't, based on the most trivial aspects of what gives them pride or something like that. It's as silly as going out to Zach De La Rocha or Trey Anastasio or I mean, to think of people, Eckhart Tolle, and just in their face, all seething and flopping around in some contortions of bullshit as a mockery. Tell him he's not good enough. And then, all flip out and some other shit about what he should do and how he should do it because you say so. Okay? Now, transpose that reality onto who is in the camera right now talking, and that would be you and me, and it's just as silly and equally as dismissible as it would be for any of them. I really want that to sink in for you. This is not something where you make the rules up. Physics is a law. See, I dropped the letter, it falls. No whistling underwater is not a law, or whatever. I think it's on the books in Vermont. The silliest thing, like I may not smoke a joint. Well, guess what? I smoke a joint. The universe doesn't explode or implode. It isn't all over, and there's nobody here to actually, take the joint from my mouth and tell me I can't do it. Anyway, 10 seconds left. Really let this sink in. It's so easy. There goes the crisis mobile because the system works so well. On taxpayer money, I don't like taxes.